Come on, man. It feels ridiculous to have this man sitting here in our Apple Music studio in Berlin because he could quite literally be anywhere in the world right now. The African giant. Welcome, Burna Boy.
Thank you.
Man, I'm so happy that you're here. It's a big pleasure. You've been to Berlin a couple of times.
Yeah.
We even got a shout out on Big Seven. So it seems like you love this place, man.
It's definitely. It's amazing. Always.
You also had a couple of different venues that you played here. You played Columbia Halle, 4,000 people. Last time, I think, Uber Arena, 17,000. This time it's Waldbühne, 22,000 and open air. How does it feel to be like in this part of the world, somewhere completely else from where you grew up and spent your youth in, and then, you know, gradually see the growth and like venues that you play somewhere else in the world?
It's great. It's always a blessing, you know?
Yeah.
But I've been doing this for so long now, it's kind of normal. So, yeah.
Everywhere you go, it's now, you've seen the city, but it's another venue that you pull up to.
Yeah, it's like most of the time I don't even get to see the city. I just, you know? It's like you go around the world and go nowhere at the same.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's all a blessing though.
So you dropped this new album this year, No Sign of Weakness, which, I mean, I have to say the title is pretty spot on, man. It's, I think, project number 12 or 13 in just as many years.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. You keep being busy. You keep dropping these albums and projects. Like, what would you say is the #1 motor behind you and just your constant motivation?
I mean, somebody has to do it. Why not me?
Yeah.
And it's really that simple, you know.
Yeah.
There always has to be the one, you know.
Yeah.
So why don't I be that, you know? So that's always been my thing, man. Just making sure I'm always put the best foot forward at all times, you know.
And you also tap into different music, different styles, sounds, genres, and you're always like, you always kill it, man. Like,
yeah, because it's music, bro. Music is this. I don't believe there's genres for music.
Right.
You know, humans, we just break things down just so that we can
categorize them,
and understand it. You know, it's like, so yeah, music is like water, bro. It's just like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. You know how they had to break down time and stuff into just 12
yeah, absolutely.
hours each. You know what I mean? When really the creator or whatever is above us looks at us and laughs at that, like,
yeah, hours, months, days.
You know what I mean? It's like really, it's more than that. Like, you know, the real. If we knew what it really was, then we'll just be.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But that's why we quantify things so we can just make sense of it with our little human brain.
Yeah.
You know?
So I dived into everything that you did basically the last few days since I knew you would be pulling up here. And one thing I stumbled upon, and which is still great, it aged great, is your tiny desk from like 5 years ago. You did that for African Giants during the African Giant time.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that some things in your career came a little too early? Because we got so many bangers, so many hits from you after that we didn't have the chance to hear that in a tiny desk version, you know?
So we'll do another one.
You got to do another one, man.
It's that simple. I feel like everything happens when it's supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah.
And if it happens too early, then it's gonna happen again.
Yeah.
You know, like in a better way. So there's no losses, you know.
There's like no last tiny desk. So
Exactly.
we gotta make that happen, man.
Exactly.
We gotta hear that one. What I found was that actually Rolling Stone magazine, I think 2 years ago, they crowned you. They put you into their top 200 best singers of all time list.
Yeah.
Which I found funny because it's unusual for, like, you know, an American magazine to appreciate and cherish singers that are so, like, not typically American and do other stuff and are so experimental. How did you feel when you got that news and saw that you were part of that list?
I mean, it's great. Like, it felt really good, you know, but at the end of the day, I always felt I was one of the greatest singers in the world, so they weren't telling me anything new. So I mean, yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah. With the global superstardom that you already have, obviously, did you ever feel like you're obviously representing a continent, your country, a culture? Everywhere you go, you're like this big superstar. You tour now from the US to Berlin to everywhere, basically. Does that, at any point in your career, was that any type of pressure or expectation on you that you're there waving a flag, proudly representing something else as well?
Not really, just to the point where it's like people start calling me and be like, bro, the only thing they know, they say when I tell them I'm Nigerian, is they ask, do you know Burna Boy?
Yeah.
I didn't really understand how what that meant really and how deep that was and the responsibility that carried. And, you know, like that means now Burna Boy has to live up to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now if really everybody's, the first question they ask somebody that says they're from Nigeria is, do you know Burna Boy? That means Burna Boy can't slip up.
yeah, that's true. That is very true.
I mean, that's really the only thing. Other than that, it's great for me. I don't have no pressures. I don't put no, you know.
Yeah.
I do everything that comes naturally to me and leave the rest for the Most High, you know.
Also, because you just said, man, they didn't need to tell me that I'm one of the best singers. I already knew that forever.
Yeah, I knew that for a long time.
There's so much confidence around you. I want to go back to one of your biggest bangers, City Boys, man.
Yeah.
Because when you look at City Boys in the comments on YouTube, the top comment is some guy that commented, this guy's loaded with confidence. He knows he's good at what he does. And that's so funny for me because you always strike me as a confident guy as well. But on the other side, especially that song obviously starts with the J Hus quote where he's like, man, I always call myself an ugly youth, but I'm a sexy youth, you know, and I had to realize that. So did that quote really like resonate with you, or what was it about the quote as someone that
that's a quote that we lived. We lived that quote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't something he said just to be funny. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It's real. There's a lot of meaning to that, you know, like, because being us, being African and being, you know what I mean? It wasn't the coolest thing to be back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's really where that comes from, you know, that how tables turned now, and, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really it. It's not that deep.
Did you tell Hus before you dropped that, or did he just hear that once the song came out?
Nah, I actually made the song around that.
Okay. Wow. So he knew beforehand?
Yeah.
Okay, man. You posted on TikTok a couple of days ago. You posted a TikTok with your sister in the private jet, and you're obviously traveling with your family. Also, you know, famously enough, everybody knows how involved your mother is beautifully in your career. How is that, man? That must be priceless to travel around with your family, having your career and your family and the fun and seeing so many different places all in one. Tell me a little bit about that feeling after, you know, so many years of putting everything into the music.
Man, it's like, it gets really annoying. But then it's like I wouldn't trade it for the world, because it's like that's the most happiest thing about this whole journey of mine, you know. So yeah, man, it's a blessing, man. It's something I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like I always knew it was gonna be like that. Like I was gonna, you know.
Yeah.
But then actually living it for so many years now is like prophecy.
Coming true. Yeah. I mean, you were just with Dottie in London, and you were talking about how little time you sometimes spend at home. But when you have your family with you on these trips, it's almost like bringing home with you, you know?
Except my grandma, because she can't travel too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about priceless, man. I saw this $2 million ring you got for yourself. I was excited to see it, but you left it at home.
I'm rose gold today.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the vibe today.
Yeah.
But man, ever since you started, you had an eye for jewelry. You got this one line on Big 7. I really spent $1 million on 2 Richard Milles. Yeah. You had the grills. You always have like a special eye for your jewelry. So how do you go about it these days? Do you do a lot of custom ones? Do you go in a store and just off of the vibe pick one? How's your jewelry copying these days?
For me, it just happens, bro. I don't know how to. There's no science behind it. It just happens. You know, sometimes if I'm these days I just been buying a lot of watches and stuff from my boy WSJ Whitestone Jewelers, and then I just kind of got addicted to that. Just buying a bunch of watches, and anytime I see a watch that looks like it's something that my kids will be like, you know, when I have grandkids and stuff like that.
You can pass it on to them.
Yeah, like, you know, stuff like that. But then it's like sometimes I also want to go crazy and just buy those rings and stuff from A Jewelers. They always have something going on.
they did the famous $2 million rings.
Yeah. They're the ones that make me do stuff like that.
Man, your selection of artists that you worked with the last few years is just so vast and so extensive. I want to read some of the names just to remind people how ridiculous that list of people is that you got in the studio and on a record with. You worked with J. Cole, Wizkid, Lily Allen, Travis Scott, Mick Jagger, Future, Chris Martin, Shabuzi, Stormzy, J Balvin, Ed Sheeran, Popcan, Stromae on this new one. Is there anyone out there that you still want to get into the studio with after this list?
Bro, there was never anyone I actually wanted to get into the studio with. Everything happens naturally, you know, and it's like, if it works, when it works, it's just...
The stars align.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It feels so amazing. That's why I just stick to that, you know? And it's been working so far because every time I get in with someone organically like that, it's amazing.
You're obviously also a great live performer, apart from knowing different artists and tapping into different sounds. So I want to know from you, imagine you're in Nigeria, in Lagos, okay? Saturday, 100,000 people pull up. You got unlimited budget. Which artist would you book for your own festival?
Well, you just might find out in real life.
Really though?
Yeah, you just might find out. We're working on something. We've been working on something since last year at the Burna Boy Festival, but
wow,
let's see how that goes.
Okay, so we can see how that plays out in real life.
Exactly.
I started out with mentioning how often you came back to Germany. Did you ever have any chance to check out German artists over here?
Nah, but from back in the day, like there's a guy that I used to love to watching perform on his you know how we had TV channels back in the day, like music channels, and they would show performances sometimes. And this guy called Gentleman.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, so, but I can't remember how old I was.
Yeah, he did
probably
reggae.
A teenager or something.
Yeah.
And then he had this performance where I don't know where he was, but the song goes, "Leave us alone," something like that, right? And then he went into the crowd, and then the camera's up there, and then everyone's going crazy. Wow. That's when I'm like, yeah, I need to, you know, that was big for me still.
Shout out to Gentleman.
Because that's kind of the first time I seen anything that looked like a mosh pit-ish.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, that's crazy. So before I let you go, I just want to give you these two people. You got to check out Reezy and you got to check out Luciano. Right. Those two, I'm sure you will be surprised and happy to check out. Oh, those two are killing it right now in Germany, man. Luciano? Yeah, and Reezy. Just skip through a couple of those songs on Apple Music.
Bumping that in the car right now as soon as I get out.
Absolutely, man.
I hope I don't be disappointed.
You better not be disappointed. Hey, Burna Boy, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for pulling up in Berlin every time you come here to Germany, man. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
For sure.